Good morning, chemistry students. My name is Mr. Adam. This is chemistry. Today is the 4th of June. It is a Thursday, and I don't even know what day it is in the rotation anymore. All I know is that it's our last official day of class. Your last day is officially June 9th, but this is the last day that I can assign you anything. And so this is the last day. I'll be making a video, giving you a little spiel and giving you something to do and something to look at. So congratulations. After today, you are officially done with chemistry. It's been a long ride. It's been quite the journey. We've learned, hopefully, a little bit about chemistry. We've spent a lot of time together, laughed a lot together. Heck, we started the year out in class, in school. We made it through a pandemic and through the first ever school at home and online school at Mount Lebanon. You guys have been through a whole lot, and we've been through a whole lot together. And I'm happy to have been alongside you on this journey. So a couple last things that we're going to do, that we're going to talk about in terms of agenda items, and then I'm going to give you three tips to be successful and happy in your life as I leave you. Because at the end of the day, I really do hope you learned a little bit of chemistry in this class. But more than that, I hope you learned how to be a human being, a better, kinder, happier human being in this class. And I hope you take a little bit of something that you can use in your life from me and from this class. Okay? So, first of all, let's start with what's going on today. Obviously, this will be your last video, so make sure to check that out, watch that. And then the other thing I'm giving you today, the only thing I'm giving you today, is this list I made called Mr. Adam's List of Do-at-Home Experiments. Okay? And on this list, I've given you, I think, about 9 to 10 experiments, some that you requested in that survey that I sent out yesterday. About 9 to 10 experiments that you can do at home, safely, with stuff that you can find pretty easily around the house or at a grocery store or something like that. You don't need any super fancy chemicals that you'd have to buy online or find in a chemistry lab. But yeah, you should be able to do these yourself. Some of them are really cool and kind of appear like magic, so you can kind of show them off to your friends and family and explain the chemistry to them, maybe, if you understand it. And some are fun for you to do because they're going to be something that you've never actually seen in action before. My only request is this. Well, first of all, biggest request, be safe. Anytime you're doing any of these, read the safety tips that I've given you and make sure to take the proper precautions. If it's involving fire or heat or something, make sure your parents know so that they can be aware of that and make sure that you're safe. My other request is whenever you're doing these things, if you don't understand, learn what's actually going on. Learn the chemistry. Ask me, look it up, Google it, read the actual lab. A lot of them say what is actually happening there and why. So whenever you're doing an experiment, whenever you're doing some magic in chemistry, the real magic is what you learn. That sounds cheesy as heck, doesn't it? The real magic is what you learn and what you actually figure out about science and chemistry and the world around you from seeing this crazy magic, quote-unquote, phenomenon, right? So make sure that you're learning. Make sure that you're asking questions and figuring out what is going on there, what is actually happening there. If you need to ask me, I'm always here for you to ask. Okay. So make sure to check that out and maybe try doing one of those or two of those or three of those or all of them over the summer. Check it out. Show it off to your friends. I know one of the big requests was elephant toothpaste, so I made sure to include that for you there. Speaking of the surveys, thank you to those of you who filled those out. I used that to pick the best day or time for everybody for our last video meetups, and that will be Friday afternoon. So I guess not much is actually changing. Our last video meeting will be tomorrow, Friday afternoon. We'll again have 1:30 to 2 o'clock, second period, 2 o'clock to 2:30, third period, 2:30 to 3 o'clock, fifth period, and 3 o'clock to 3:30, eighth period. So we'll do half an hour for every period, and that'll be our last video meetup. In those meetups, obviously, we'll say goodbye, we'll talk, we'll laugh for one last time, but I also got a lot of good questions about science that I can kind of try to answer and talk about a little bit. If you don't want me to do that, you can just tell me to shut up and move on, and we can just chat and have fun. But yeah, I got a couple really cool questions about science that I really like. Some that are very chemistry related, and we're definitely going to talk about, and some that are less chemistry related, but I actually know a little bit about and we'll talk about. I'm not the, know-all, end-all, be-all of science, so there are some questions that you guys asked that are awesome questions that I don't really know the answer to. And to that, we're going to talk about one of my points, one of my tips for success for what you should do about those. Okay. And on that note, I think that's all I really had to say. video meetup, last video, my list. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. On that note then, I have 3 tips for you to be successful in life. And for the most part, they're not really about science. They're not really about chemistry. I became a teacher because, I'm a giant nerd and I love chemistry. I have 8 billion periodic tables and read chemistry books all the time and love that stuff. Super dork about it. But more than that, I became a teacher because I like working with you guys. Because you're at this critical point in your life where you have to decide what kind of person you're going to be. So I love working with you guys and getting to help you on that journey, getting to give you a couple pieces of advice that I learned when I was younger from the really important adults in my life, from the people who said, this is how you should be. And they didn't just tell me that, but they modeled that. They showed me how I should be as a person. And I really think back to those people all the time. And I'm still close with some of them, talk to them regularly. But those people really taught me how to be a person that I wanted to be the kind of person that I wanted to be. So I have 3 tips for you, mostly not science related, about what you should do as a person to be successful, to be happy, and to be a valuable part of your community and have people in your life who are important to you and care about you. All right, without further ado, these tips, really simple, but I'm going to talk about them a little bit. Tip number 1, be kind. Sounds like something you'd hear in elementary school, like years and years ago. Your teacher would say, be kind to everybody, be nice to everybody. But it's not just about being nice to people. Kindness is something you have to commit to every day, commit to as a person. In the survey that I sent out, I was really touched. A lot of you said that I was very kind and that you learned to be kind, or that I emphasized that in class. And I think that's one of the most important things with kindness is to model it, right? Kindness is, again, not just being nice. Kindness is going out of your way to help others, to defend others, to give of yourself freely without expecting anything in return, right? Kindness can be simple. It can be somebody dropped a pencil on the ground, so you bend down to pick it up and give it to them, right? You didn't gain anything from that. You didn't get anything from getting that pencil. It took time and energy out of your life to do that. It only benefited that person, but it was important that you did that. Being kind to people shows people what kind of person you are. It makes them gravitate towards you. It makes them want to be in some sort of relationship with you, right? Makes them want to be your friend. And that's not important to have all the friends in the world, but it is important to show people that you can be trusted, that you can be relied upon, that you will help them and defend them. It can be a little gesture like that. Or it can be saying that I will defend you, I will protect you, I will stand up for you when things aren't going your way. And I encourage you, do that for people that you care about, that you know about in your life, and do that for people who are relative strangers. There are a lot of problems going on in the world today. A lot. I'm sure you know about a lot of them. And you need a lot of kindness to solve those problems. You need to stick up for people who you don't know, who are relative strangers, that aren't having the best or easiest time. Got to be kind to them and stick up for them. One of my favorite quotes from Harry Potter is Dumbledore. And he says to Harry Potter, "You're just like your mother, unfailingly kind, a trait that I fear people never fail to undervalue." And that stuck with me, that kindness is so important, but people will undervalue it all the time and say it's not that important, or people will step on you if you are kind to them. Sometimes they take advantage of that, but that doesn't mean you can stop. You have to always be kind and prioritize others and make sure they know that you will be there for them and that you will give of yourself freely without expecting anything in return. All right, so kindness is super important for me. I try to emphasize it every day in my life, but hopefully something of that stuck with you, that you should be kind. Point 2, be curious. Now, I'd be lying if I said this one was a little science related. In science, one of the most important things is to be curious, to ask questions, to wonder why things are the way they are. Survey yesterday, Awesome questions. Mr. Adam, why is the sky blue? I know that one was kind of a joke. Mr. Adam, why do the northern lights happen? What is going on there? What is bioluminescence? What's happening there? I don't even remember all of them because there were so many good questions. There's so many people being curious. Ask questions. Wonder about things. Look at awe up at the sky and say, why is that sunset so beautiful? Why are the northern lights flashing above me? Why is my water brown? I don't know. But there are so many things you can be curious about and ask questions about. Throughout all of your life, ask questions. Be curious. Wonder about things. It can be science related. It can be not. Be curious about people. Ask people about their stories. Ask people what they're going through. What's going on in their lives. Say, hey, how are you today? Are you doing okay? Can I help you with anything? And obviously that weaves in with being kind too. Be curious about people. Want to know more about them. Be curious about the world around you. Want to know more of the truth about the world around you. Just always be curious. Ask questions. And oftentimes, if you're curious, you should try to seek out those answers too. You are born in an age with the internet. Seek out answers. If you're curious about why the sky is blue, look it up. Google it. If you're curious about, what the northern lights are, yeah, you can ask me and I'll talk to you a little bit about it, but look it up. Try to understand it for yourself. Do research. Learn. Grow. Never stop learning and growing. That's super important that you're always learning. It doesn't have to be about science, but whatever you're passionate about, whatever makes you tick, whatever gets you up in the morning, gets you going, be curious about it and always be learning. No matter how young or old you are, always learn, always be curious, always ask questions. It's enough about curiosity, but it's super important for scientists and just for people to learn and grow. Last one, be humble. I haven't really talked about this too much in class because I think it's something that's really hard to teach. I think it's something that you learn pretty much only through experience. Sometimes something that could be a traumatic experience or a really difficult learning experience. Something you, quote unquote, learn the hard way, right? So be humble. What does that mean? Humbleness or humility is knowing that you're not always perfect, that you're not always right, that you're not always better or at your best. Being humble is hard. It's probably hardest for adults. And so I say this to you at this young age because I think you're the most capable of learning at this point. Being humble means knowing that you are not always in the right. It means knowing that you can be better and do better. Right? And I say sometimes you learn it the hard way because sometimes it takes a hard truth for you to learn that, right? Learn that you were very wrong about something. And you have to learn how to react to that. You can rebel against it and say, no, I'm right. There's no way. You can, lash out at people and say, no, you're a jerk. You're wrong. The hardest thing to do is to be humble. Say, okay, I was wrong. I can learn. I can do better. I can't tell you the next time in your life that you will be humbled or that you will have the chance to respond with humility. But when you do, when you have that moment where you're confronted with something that makes you feel like you were in the wrong or that, you could do better, I implore you, please, beg you, take it. Take that moment. Take a breath. Face it head on and say, okay, I'm sorry. I was wrong. I can do better. I try to do that a lot. It's really easy to make excuses in your life and not take responsibility for things, but I'm trying now in my life every day, and have been for a long time, to take responsibility, to take things and say, okay, I can do better. I can improve. It's a quality that doesn't feel good at first, but it helps you grow as a person, it helps you improve, and people respect you for it. So make sure to be humble, right? Make sure to know that you're not always in the right. You don't always know the most about something. Be humble. I'll leave you with a quote that my AP chemistry teacher told me. Not even my favorite chemistry teacher, but a really smart man. He told us one day, and again, super smart guy, fast talker, but super smart to teach AP chemistry. He said, I'm really glad that there are people in this world who are way smarter than I am. I was like, that guy's really smart. He knows a lot. What is he talking about? There aren't people who are smarter than him. He said this because he said, without those people in this world, without those people who are smarter than me and better than me at certain things that I'm not necessarily that good at, we wouldn't advance very much in this world. We wouldn't get very far in this world. We wouldn't have technology advancing and new inventions and finding cures and vaccines to diseases and all this kind of stuff, right? That takes a lot of humility to be a very smart, very intelligent person and say, I'm glad there are people out there who know more than me, who are smarter than me, who can do more than me. It's always okay. It's always okay to be humble and say, hey, that person is an expert. They know more than me. Hey, that person has studied this for years. Hey, this person has worked really hard on this. They know more than me about this, and that's okay. I'm going to defer to them and be humble and say, I have strengths too. I know a lot about other certain things. It's okay. It's okay to be humble. I don't even know how long I just went on about my 3 tips there, but I hope something in there will stick with you. I hope something in there will resonate with you and stay with you throughout your life in a time where you need it. I have my really serious face on right now, and I'd way rather end this video with a smile. So I'm going to take my own advice and be kind. Thank you all so much for an excellent year. Almost all of you know, I hope at this point, that this was my first year of teaching, and despite everything, despite the way that we had to end and being a pandemic and we had to teach online and whatnot, I'm just filled with gratefulness. I'm grateful for all of you, for everything that you've taught me all year, and for all the laughs and the memories that we've shared. Thank you. It's been a great year. Hope you learned a little bit about chemistry. Hope you become a better person from this course, and I hope you know that I'm always there in C400 for you anytime you need it, or just an email away. I will see you all for the next 3 years, so this is not goodbye. This is just see you later. But for right now, this is probably going to be our last, unless you're at the video call tomorrow. 1, 2, 3. Clap on me. Just wait. Thank you guys for an awesome year. I will see you all later. Let's get a 1, 2, 3. Clap on me.